button. Here we go.
Hey.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the show. And quite a show it is. Sadly, as you can see, Jeff has had a severe case of plastic surgery this week and has come back as somebody else. I'd like you to meet Kat, who I'm going to be working with on a film tomorrow. And she's going to tell you a bit more about that, aren't you, Kat?
Yeah, it's Friday, not tomorrow.
Friday. I'm filming you tomorrow, aren't I?
No, we're filming Friday.
Okay, well, we're filming Friday. I thought it was my bad. Anyway, we're filming on Friday. So everything's live here. Now, as you can see, the studio is a little different this week. The lighting has all been sorted out. The microphone, I'm hoping the sound is coming through crystal clear. Because sadly I spent a bit of money getting all this right. But I'll tell you the reason we're doing that a little bit later on. But first of all, as I say, Jeff can't join us because he's driving like a maniac across America. He's been given one of those unfair timetables where he's got to do so many miles in such a short distance. He would need to be Superman. Sadly, he isn't. So he is driving through the show. He may listen. If we can get a call through to him, we might see if we can get a call through to him. But hey, that's it. So over to Kat. So Kat, tell us a little bit about who you are and what you're doing.
So I've lived in Glastonbury a few years, and I was attracted to come here for creativity and spirituality. I think those two are things for me that are the same thing. I knew it was going to be an amazing creative playground, and I've been on a creative journey for quite some time. I've always classed myself as creative, but got told at art school that I wasn't an artist and was never really going to be an artist, which seems to be an unfortunately very common story, whether that's for dancers or creatives of any kind. It's often somebody, a professional in the field, or somebody with authority that tells them they can't do the thing they want to do, or parents. So I've just got a real passion for trying to encourage creativity in others. So I've been building this for a long time, but I've just launched a project essentially called What is Art Anyway? And I'm collaborating with another Glastonbury local called Krista Seal, who's an amazing counsellor locally and very creative himself. And yeah, we've received some funding from Somerset Council's Creative Ideas Fund. So it's a smallish part of £1,000 that gives us just enough money to get it up and off the ground. We've hired the Avalon Centre as a venue to run 3 workshops. So we're doing our 3rd workshop on Friday, which is the one you'll be filming with us on. It's not outcome focused workshops, so they are art workshops, but again, they're called What is Art Anyway? I mean, art can be observing nature. Art can be drawing a picture, of course. It could be writing a poem. It could be carpentry. It could be dressing to express yourself. Like, art is just so many different things. So the workshops are very much not outcome focused. They're more about the process and doing a bit of digging with each other, feeling safe as a small group. We've got between 8 and 12 participants each week. We've got a full cohort of 12. So we're just building safety with each other, getting a little bit silly and in touch with our inner child in very gentle ways, having to think about where we might have become blocked throughout our lives. And Krista and I are very much on this journey with people as well, which makes it really lovely. And we are creating as well. I should have said too, all of our participants are between 46 and 80. So we did it for over 45s, and that's what we've got. Is between
I just about squeezed into that age range. Just about.
Oh yeah, just about.
Luckily, I had a birthday last week. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been able to do it.
And most of the participants are also living with some kind of chronic health condition or physical disability, which again, Krista and I share that too, hence the passion for opening up to, I mean, that is such a huge range of people, but obviously the creative blocks might be even higher for people with a health condition. So yeah, both just got a real passion for that. And as much as the workshops are not outcome focused, we are having an exhibition, which is a bit of a sort of controversial decision when it's all about taking the pressure off. So what we've done is people have been creating art throughout the process, and it might be that they've just painted their emotions or sculpted something that means something to them. We're also setting a little bit of a prompt if needed on the third session on Friday, which is to make something ugly. So the reason for that is as soon as you just bring that word into it, it takes all the pressure off.
I wonder why they invited me.
Oh, don't be so hard on yourself.
I have what they call a face for radio, and I love it. Anyway, carry on. I interrupted you. I do apologise for that.
But to be fair, that's something else. Actually, there's been some really beautiful conversations come up throughout the sessions, because we are deep diving into parts of our past, and actually, the concept of beauty is really coming into it too. And what does it mean to be beautiful, and what is inner beauty, and how can we express that? Rather than trying to conform to a particular society's beauty ideals, which are always unrealistic, or this society certainly has very unrealistic beauty standards. So actually that question's come into it too. What is ugly? What is beautiful?
Yeah.
What is art? I think they're all really important questions.
Oh, hang on a minute.
We got a tech issue.
No, I think I've ballsed up. Let's have a look. Okay, we'll come back to this. I think Bernie's just put me onto something I wasn't aware of. Okay, Bernie, I'll come back and sort that in a minute. Okay, so well, it's thrown me, that is. So the exhibition, this is going to enable, I mean, these people have never been in an exhibition space before. They've never exhibited. They've never had people look at what they've made because they felt they couldn't do it. But you have turned that around, I guess, haven't you, in having an exhibition?
Yeah. I mean, we have got a mixture of people. Glastonbury is such a creative place. So to do, I guess what we're doing is a pilot of these workshops. Glastonbury is an interesting place to do because it's so full of creativity and creative people. Certainly, as far as I know, for most of that, the people, the participants, that's true. They've never been in an exhibition. And some of them have been, like me, actually creative all their lives, but still never felt they could call themselves an artist. That's this kind of unattainable thing. So yeah, that's part of the choice of doing an exhibition. It's like, look, you are an artist. You've got your work in an exhibition. And the exhibition is going to be at the Heart of the Tribe in Glastonbury. As soon as I spoke to Julian about it, who owns the Heart of the Tribe, he was really on board. He's given us the back workshop space, which is through that really beautiful garden. He's given us that space for free for a week and a half to do our exhibition. It was his suggestion that I got in touch with you, Gabriel. And it was also his suggestion that we have an opening party. So that is essentially a private view, which is going to be Friday the 24th. So a week on Friday, 2 till 4 p.m. So it's for friends, if anybody wants to come along. And then the exhibition will run for another week and a half until the 2nd, I think it is. I haven't got my diary on me right now, but so yeah, Julian was amazing.
Yes, he's a major force for the good of art in this community. He really is. I mean, we are very lucky. I mean, with the Heart of the Tribe Gallery, we have a West End quality gallery here in Glastonbury, and I can't think of any other towns around here that have got anything like this. And with their commitment to bringing art being the heart of the community, I think they're wonderful. They do a lot of good work. The St Dunstan's House, which is going to be opening, it's a wellbeing centre. I think the first group of people to open it are a veteran society helping veterans. That's the sort of thing that's going on in there. And Heart Tribe are loaning them paintings and stuff to put on the walls because it's newly built.
Oh, I didn't realise that. Amazing.
Yeah, they do lots of bits and pieces like that. They're very good because, you know, they say on their logo, putting, you know, art.
I can see their logo at the back of you, can't I?
This is it. This is it. Yes, up on the wall there. They are sponsors of this channel. Again, more news and talk about that later, ladies and gentlemen. But yes, they are currently sponsors of the channel, which I'm very glad to be associated with them because I love what they do. And, you know, again, to bring people who maybe are insecure, have issues, whatever, and put them in a space where suddenly their work is on show, I think that's transformational for them. You know, it's just an amazing thing you're doing, which is why when you rang me up and said, do you want to get involved? I immediately said, no, sod off. I immediately said yes, because I think...
It was the lemon drizzle cake, wasn't it, that swung it, really?
Well, there was, I have to say, I don't want to have to face accusations of bribery or corruption, but part of the process of going from not knowing Kat to working with Kat and filming was greased, shall we say, by lemon drizzle cake, and no ordinary lemon drizzle cake. It is the lemon drizzle cake from the very best, very wonderful Heafy's restaurant cafe here in Glastonbury. If I could just ask people in the comments, can you tell me what you think of the quality of this microphone, the sound? Am I clear? Can you hear me? If I'm not, then please let me know. Now, what was happening earlier on, now, I don't know what's going on here. I've just been notified that a comment I didn't realize was from somebody telling us that Ryan has died. Now, you know Ryan, who has worked with me on the channel. We've done videos. He liked nothing more than going to get a free meal somewhere by sampling it for the channel. I'm being told he's died. Now, I must admit, I haven't seen Ryan around town for quite a long time. You normally, you go everywhere you go, there's this great big tall man with the slightly bald head and the high-vis jacket on his bike. You couldn't miss him, but I haven't seen him for ages. And I was talking to Jeff recently and I said, well, I haven't heard about Ryan lately. I wonder what's going on. And then this came out of the blue. And I thought, oh, but then Vicky Stewart, who does Normal for Glastonbury, kind of a blog version of what we're doing here with Glastonbury Gabriel. I asked her about it because she's the font of all knowledge. She knows everything that goes on in town. And she said, no, I filmed with him last week. And indeed, I have seen video footage of Ryan very recently showing Vicky around the community garden. So if anybody in Glastonbury is watching this and knows anything, because I don't know what's going on. I've got somebody saying he's died, and then I've got a video of him filmed a few days ago. So I don't know. So that's where we are with the Ryan story. It's a very weird one. I do hope above hope he's all right, and there's nothing befallen him. But as I say, if anybody knows, if you can pop it in the comments, I'll be truly grateful. So that's that. I hope everything is all right. Oh, anyway, going back to Kat there. So for the people who do this, they're going to come through. They're going to they're going to go through the journey, if you like, from thinking they can't do anything to exhibiting, what then? Is it like a cliff they fall off, or is there something else they can go on and do? Is there a follow-on?
So far, this is the first, like I say, the first part of funding that we've received. What I have just done actually is create a Facebook page and a Facebook group, and just bought a domain name. So it's like the start of something, and it's all called What is Art Anyway. So at the moment, if you go into Facebook and look up What is Art Anyway, it should come up. So I'm going to encourage people to form some kind of group. Although what we're finding actually with these people, and maybe in Glastonbury in general, and because of the age, hi little pussycat, because of the puppy, oh, cute. Because of the age, perhaps, of the participants, not everybody is using the internet. And so maybe technology isn't the best way. So it is something we're thinking about. So we're learning so much. I'm learning so much from every time I've done a test of these workshops in whatever capacity. But this is the first time I've done a course of them. So I'm learning a lot. And what we have budgeted for is a follow-up session a month later so that we can all check in with each other. But you are right. Like, I think maybe even an ongoing group could be really lovely. However, limited resources, and actually what's beautiful about Glastonbury is there are places like the Snug or St. John's on a Monday that are open and providing these kind of community-based arts spaces as well already. And we did link in with the Snug. I'd done a couple of workshops there before, and they I was set up there every Thursday for a while, just advertising these workshops and asking people to sign up. And I'll be there quite regularly again. So what I'm really hoping that some friendships do blossom from the workshops. That would be beautiful to see. Certainly 1 or 2 people did say on the questionnaires that we did before people signed up that they did feel quite isolated. So really hoping that there is some form of community can come out of it. And yeah, it might be that we just encourage more people to go and make use of those spaces that are already available, like the Snug and I can't remember what it's called, St. John's on a Monday. It's got a name.
Excellent. Well, I'm just going to take a little time just to go through some of the comments. Barry West is here from Western Supermare. How you doing, Barry? It's good to see you. I'm sorry we haven't got Jeff here this week, Baz, but you just got to put up with me and the shortcomings that involves. Which at the moment includes my cat's arse isn't showing in the camera. That's good.
Just
well, I used to have the camera where she stands like this. You can see her tail. The camera was about 2 inches lower, and you got a lovely rusty eye shot, but. I don't know what it is about cats and displaying their posteriors, but there you go. Anyway, yes. So hi Barry, good to see you. The other day, thank you very much. Station Master's Choice, the wonderful Bernie is here. It's lovely to see you, Bernie, and Andrew Norris. Andrew, that film that I'm going to put out in the next couple of weeks. There's been a few changes. I'm going to explain them later. And I hope everything will become apparent. Okay. Clear as mud, as they say, don't they, Poppy? Anyway, who else is here? I'm trying to pick up on who's been talking about what. Thank you for the feedback on my sound. As I say, this is a microphone that I've wanted to own for a long time. And I thought, okay, I'm doing this as a regular thing and I can connect it to my camera. And it's just I thought I'll invest, so I have, and I think the quality of the sound, I've played it back and I'm very impressed with it. Okay, so who else is in here? Roland Barb, my dear Roland. Roland and I hooked up in Germany earlier on this year to travel to Wuppertal, which is in kind of northeastern Germany, bordering towards the Netherlands that way. And it's famous for its overhead railway. You may have seen the video. And that is a very, very ancient overhead railway system that still works and is a functioning railway. It's not a tourist attraction, and it's brilliant. But anyway, we went out and hooked up. Now, Roland, would you be interested? Oh, cat fur everywhere. Oh, cats. Would you be interested in another hookup? Because I'm thinking of doing a series of videos. We have a thing in Glastonbury called the Frost Fair. Now, the Frost Fair is an annual event. You can see the videos on my channel. It's a very, very popular event. The entire high street is closed off. There's loads of stalls, 90% of which are by people who make things from food to clothes to furniture to all sorts. It's a brilliant day out. And Jeff was saying, oh, we've got something like that over where we are in Washington. Now, as you know, Jeff is retiring in 9 days' time. And so he was saying, well, I could do a film of that and you could do a film of that. And I'm thinking, yes. And I got another idea. This is where Roland comes in. I've always wanted to go to a German Christmas market. We've all seen the videos. I want to go and experience it. I want to eat the food, drink the schnapps, and, you know, buy some Christmas presents. So, Roland, you live in the Black Forest. Now, unless I am very mistaken, some of the best Christmas markets in the world aren't very far from your front door. So, if I headed down into your direction, would you like to meet up and visit a Christmas market with me? I think it would be great fun. So yeah, get in touch, let me know, drop me a little message if you're interested. Sorry to drop it on you, but it was just something Jeff and I were talking about the other day. And another thing is I'm doing a series of videos at the moment about the Gauntlet, which is a little arcade in Glastonbury. I don't know if you know Glastonbury, you live in Glastonbury, you know it. If you don't, I recommend you visit when you come, because it's managed to turn into a lovely little community of artisans. You go in and there's people who make jewelry. I've worked with the guy who makes candles. There's artists. There's all sorts of people in there, and they're all crafty kind of people. Not crafty, but crafty making stuff. And I've just shot another new shop that's just opened down there. That came out yesterday, I think. There's a lovely jewelry shop down there where I actually, while I was in there, I can show you this. Look, I don't know if you can see that. It's a Thor's hammer held up by two, no, Poppy, don't do that. Held up by two dragons. There you go. Look at that. I treated myself. I thought, I want that, so I had it. Lovely little shop, lovely lady who's just gone into hospital. So if you're watching, Rebecca, or if you get to see this later, hope all is well with your operation. Look forward to seeing you real soon. I'll be in to see how you're getting on. But yeah, so that's the Gauntlet. That's a lovely little row of shops in Glastonbury that we're working with at the moment. In other news, the St Dunstan's house has opened, and I have got to say I'm very excited about it. St Dunstan's house is the house building to the right of the town hall here in Glastonbury, and that has undergone a transformation thanks to the town deal. Town deal's had a bit of a bad rap in town, but this is the proof of it working when it can work. We have a building now which is something to be proud of. It's beautifully restored. They've managed to fit an atrium between it and the town hall. Bearing in mind both are listed buildings, I don't know how they did this, but they've created this wonderful, beautiful space. And it's a well-being centre. So, for example, the first organisation going in there when it opens in November and it starts functioning is a veterans association that look after veterans and current members of the forces. Again, there's nothing like that in town, really. They use offices elsewhere, and it's This is going to bring all of those places under one roof. And I think it's going to be something other towns are going to be jealous of, because I don't know anyone else who's got anything like it. So I've been following that. There's some videos to come out for that. And I tell you what, it's about time. I'm around about this point in the show. I wanted to give you what Bernie would call a parish update, but this is not a parish update. This goes way beyond that. Let me tell you what's going on. Recently, I have had several people say to me, Gabriel, we love your channel, but can it just be about Glastonbury? It's called Glastonbury, Gabriel. Can we have it about Glastonbury? So I resisted and thought, no, I want to do all my videos and just put them out. However, after consultation with my other half, Jeff, who has a lot of, we do a lot of these decisions together, we decided that Glastonbury Gabriel needed to concentrate on Glastonbury. So recently, Julian Clark from Heart of the Tribe called me aside, and he's restructuring the way he finances the gallery, which meant he wanted to halve his monthly sponsorship deal in return for letting me have half of the channel, which I could then let somebody else take, and he would share the videos, which I said was fine. But then I was talking to Jeff, and we were thinking, well, this is a good time to hive off everything that is not Glastonbury related to another channel. So if you were at Bernie's channel last week, you may have seen me signed in as Travels from Glastonbury, because this is a new YouTube channel that I have now started. It is up there, it is live, you can find it, but there's no videos on it yet. Come to that in a minute. Then the other thing was this, the live show. Since this live show started, I have passionately wanted it to be the go-to place for people in Glastonbury, from Glastonbury, with an interest in Glastonbury, thinking of visiting Glastonbury, to go to find out what's going on, who's who, what's what, and to make it like a place where people in Glastonbury can go and find out stuff and chat to each other. Make it a community show, which is what we've wanted to do all along. So in order to do that, what we're doing now is we are starting a third channel. I know, 3 channels, it's crazy, but it makes kind of sense. Channel number 3 is going to be called Live from the Tor, and it will only be this live stream with the only output on that channel. Some people have said they find it difficult to find on the channel and they're not quite sure how to do it. Well, it'll be dead simple. You go to the YouTube, you look for Live from the Tor, and we'll pop up, and you'll just click on there, and that will be the show there, and all of the previous shows will be available to watch on that channel as well. So there you go, 3 channels. Now, I know a lot of people don't like sponsorship, but this all costs, over £1,000 in here recently to get the studio up to a standard. Other costs, travel costs. The first video that I will be doing on the travel video, the Travels from Glastonbury channel, will be a trip to Malmo in Sweden, which is happening on the 27th of this month. I'm traveling overland to make it a travel vlog, and I'll be reporting from the Germany, from the travel. I'll be recording from the actual journey itself. We'll be going via Amsterdam, Utrecht, Copenhagen, and onto our final destination of Malmo. And that will be the initial film or series of films that opens that channel. This channel, we are now going to be working with the Heafies. The boys at Heafies are going to be sponsoring that channel, and they're going to be getting quite involved, hopefully, because they are a coffee shop that is in the heart of Glastonbury. They're right in the centre there, and I just need to do something. Do bear with me.
While you're doing that,
sorry about that. A bit of a tradition. One of our chaps takes the very important tablet at approximately half
that's
past.
so sweet. I'm gonna have to get going, but thank you for having me.
Thank you, and don't forget, everybody, if you're in Glastonbury on or after the
24th
24th
of October,
after the Tribe Gallery, go through, look at all the lovely art as you go through the beautiful garden to the garden room at the end, and you will find this amazing exhibition. And on the screen will be the video that I'm shooting of it on Friday.
Yeah. Nice one. All right, Gabriel, thanks so much for having me. How do I get out, or do you need to let me out?
I'll let you out. But yes, thank you for joining us. It's been lovely to have you, and I look forward to seeing you on Friday. Bye-bye.
Take care.
Right, now, I'm hoping Graham can hear me. He's sitting in the green room. Graham, if you can hear me, nod. You're good. He knows I'm there. Okay, so I'll be calling Graham in a minute. But as I say, so that's what's going to be happening on the channel. We're doing it because we want to make each of the video channels better. So Glastonbury Gabriel will be better at just covering Glastonbury, and it will, concentrate on doing that job. Anything outside of Glastonbury, it doesn't have to be long distance travel. If I have to go to Yeovil, I've travelled to get there. So that's travels from Glastonbury. So everything else will be on there. And I'll be hoping to do some other sorts of videos, maybe some review videos and some technical videos at some point in the future. Jeff is retiring, as you know, in 7 days' time. He will no longer be driving a truck, which personally I think can't come a day too soon. The guy works so hard. He really does need some time off. So part of that time off he's going to spend making more videos. And part of that time off he's going to use getting involved with Live from the Tor. Now this means, and this is the big news, eventually, not now, but eventually we will be going to a weekly show format, and we will be moving to a Sunday night at a time to be predetermined. So again, I'm asking people now, is Sunday night at 7 better for you than Sunday night at 8? If you could just pop it down in the comments, that would be grand, because we'd love to know. And yes, and it will be eventually going weekly. But what I can announce is tonight is the last Tales from the Tor coming from Glastonbury Gabriel. In 2 weeks' time, you will need to sign into let me get this right. Yes, you will need to sign into Live from the Tor. So that's the website, or not the website, that's the YouTube channel that you want to go to. I'll put it in the description and pin it. I will, if I can get it to come up on here, I will do that as well. But it's basically Live from the Tor, and that's where you will find this show from our next show in 2 weeks' time, which is going to be interesting because it's going to be hosted mostly by Jeff from his RV in America, because I'm going to be in Copenhagen that night and doing my bit from a phone. So we've also got Bernie coming on that night. Station Master is actually coming on the channel and joining us. Excuse me. So lots and lots of things happening, but the main one is, from the point of view of this this channel we're on now, in 2 weeks' time, you will need to go to Live from the Tor YouTube channel to find us. And at some point in the future, that's where we will be going on a weekly basis as well, and changing to Sunday. But that's in the future. Initially, now you need to go to the new channel in 2 weeks' time. But I'll tell you again at the end. Again, any comments, please let me know what you think of what I've just said, what we're going to be doing. Because again, it's much your channel. And if people turn around and say, Gabriel, we hate what you're planning to do, then Jeff and I will have a rethink. But providing that doesn't happen, that's where we're going to go. And I'd love your comments to let me know what you think of what we're doing. And if you have any ideas that you think might be useful, suggest them. We are open to ideas at all times. Anyway, that's that out the way. We do have another guest tonight. Now, I don't know if you watch all my videos. Some of you do, some of you don't. If you do, you may have met Graham recently. Now, I keep wanting to call him a town warden. He isn't a town warden. He is a town ranger. Now, if you're anything like me, you didn't have a clue what a town ranger is or does. But I met the wonderful Graham and he told me all about it. So here he is. Say hello to Graham.
Hey,
buddy. How you doing?
Thank you for having me on.
My pleasure. Now, he's not in uniform tonight. He's in plain clothes. Can you have such a thing as a plain clothes town ranger?
I think you can.
I guess you can. So, as I said, I've known Graham for a number of years now because we met through a company called Jungle Property. Because if you're in Glastonbury and want somebody to look after your buildings and things, he's your man. He is your man. But in the meantime, he has started becoming a town. Well, hasn't started. He has become a town ranger. Now, Jeff, could you please explain to the people here who maybe like me don't know what your role is, exactly what it is you do? Because you're not paid. It's a voluntary role, isn't it? We should make that clear.
Yeah, definitely a voluntary role. As I say, I was saddened to see the decline of the town. And just felt I wanted to do something for our town and put something back in. I've lived here all my life, and just wanted to do something. So the cogs in the brain was going around and thinking. I had the idea of this community ranger, and I thought I'd come up with something unique. But then found out that actually throughout the country they're used right throughout the country.
Yeah, some
are called town rangers, some are called street wardens, some are called community rangers, some are called other things, and they are spread around a lot. Some are paid for by councils or through business and development type schemes, and some like me are just volunteers. I think it was in Brentford. There's a load of mothers that have set up a community ranger situation just to escort their children to school and back. So that was the idea, and I wanted to put something back in. And I also go back to the 80s when we had the American Guardian Angels here. Anyone that really
I remember that. They rode down the underground, didn't they?
They did. And I thought at the time it was a good idea. Although, again, a lot of people didn't know much about them. Some thought they were a vigilante type group. They were banned in New York, although New York now welcomes them for what they do.
Are they still going?
Yeah.
Okay.
When the police in New York said they were no longer going to police their underground, the Guardian Angels went in and did it. They do a lot of good work. The actual co-founder, I think, has been shot about 5 times.
Really?
Yeah, and he's still going. It's amazing. So I thought it was a good idea, and to get things clear with what I do in Glastonbury, I don't issue any fines or summons. I don't do any law enforcement, but I am a uniform deterrent, and that does work. I've seen that work. For visitors in the town, they see me because obviously I've got a high vis on. I'm 6'3.5" with my hat on, so you can't really miss me.
Yeah.
And they do approach me, and it's simple things like, where's the toilets? Where's the Abbey? Where's this? Where's that? I've lost my car. How long I get a lot of parking questions, and then people struggling to park as well in Glastonbury. If you've got someone in St Dunstan's car park that's trying to park and they can't park, and then you've got to then say to them, they say, well, where's the other car parks? And you tell them where they are. How are you going to actually describe to them how to get to them? Because that ain't straightforward.
No.
St John's car park, for instance, even Silver Street car park. So that is not an easy task. But I meet people from all over the world, of course, in Glastonbury, like you do, and engage with everybody, really. I'm finding on a Saturday that the most people I engage with would be the visitors, and they're asking, obviously, for advice. I might give them a bit of history on the local area, the Abbey and so on and so forth. And on a Sunday's interesting. I mean, going Sunday really early in the morning. I was in 7:30 just this last Sunday morning, and I find I'm spending about 2.5 hours. And you think, well, there's nothing going on a Sunday morning, but you'd be surprised how busy it becomes. But you see different people on a Sunday than you do on a Saturday. So you'll see more Glasdonians in the morning. You've got the people out walking the dogs early in the morning. People using the co-op because they open at 8.
Yes.
And so you see all that, and that's different. And the engagements I get are usually from residents with their fears and worries, which I'll admit that's what I get most of.
Yeah.
And that's various. The biggest complaint I get is about drugs. I mean, there's no question about that. That's the one I get the most of. Strangely, not the alcohol. It's the drugs that I get all the time. No matter where I'm walking, that's what the people are telling me.
It's strange because the visible outcomes are alcohol related normally, aren't they?
Definitely. So you got, I mean, if you look into it, so the people that come and approach me tell me we have a crack cocaine problem in Glastonbury, unfortunately. And it's not unusual for somebody on those drugs to be drinking alcohol as well. So your crack cocaine is a stimulant and your alcohol is a depressant. And it gets into a vicious circle, really. And the big fear with this is that their heart can beat 5 times faster doing both of those than it would in normally. So they're at real risk of heart attack. And in fact, I won't say names because I won't be sure, but it was one of a famous singer. That's exactly what happened to him. And that's how he died. He died from a heart attack through doing drugs and alcohol.
Well, I mean, when we were filming you, we just finished our coffee and I'd introduced you and we said, we're just about to go, we're going to walk up the high street so Graham can explain what he does. And someone came up and said, excuse me, I think there's someone dead over there in the bushes, didn't they? For real. And it was like on film and everything. But again, that was, he'd done drugs and he had a bottle of alcohol with him when you called an ambulance. And there's nothing more you can do, really, is there? No,
but I mean, you see, I mean, I've been doing the job now voluntary for 10 months. Prior to that, I was still walking Glastonbury, but not in a high-vis uniform. And I was doing between 20 and 25 miles a week around Glastonbury and just observing what was going on. And you'll find most people out walk with their heads down looking at pavement. Yeah. When I was younger, nobody did that. So I shine my boots, which because of my cadet forces background, and they're pretty shiny. And soon as the people looking at the pavement saw the boots, they'd look up. And when they look up, because they probably thought it was security or police officer maybe, then I just engage, say good evening. It's something simple. So, and it's such a shock to some people. In fact, one couple I said good evening to, it shocked them so much they said good morning. And that's the truth. And so, it's like I want Glastonbury a calmer situation than it is now. It's a beautiful place. No matter where you are in the country, you're going to have your issues, and then you could say sometimes that Glastonbury is a little bit like Disney World compared to some places. So, but I just wanted to put something in, and so really I'm acting as an ambassador for Glastonbury. I definitely am the eyes and ears of the town. You could say I'm the bit between the public and the police. So people will come and tell me things they don't tell the police, maybe, or maybe they don't see the police. It's just a matter of timings, really. I do attend a meeting every few months with businesses, some councillors and the police, and we catch up with things and how things are going and so on and so forth. I work as a signpost for people in the town as well,
Yes.
Just doing that. And just involve community. There's a lot of people doing a lot of good stuff in Glastonbury, but nobody hears of them. I was talking with somebody yesterday that's doing a lot of good work, and I told her what I did. She said, "This is exactly what we wanted," So there's a lot of things goes on in the background that people don't know.
I must admit,
yeah, well, social media is immediate, so bad news travels fast.
Yes, it does.
And unfortunately, it's always the bad news that sticks.
Yes.
So
that is also true.
And where I am today to where I was 10 months ago, I may have been on the side of thinking, yeah, these people should get a job, earn a living, don't be on benefits or whatever, maybe. I'm 180 degrees away from that.
Really? It shows the way you think.
So going back to the guy we found that we had the report that was dead.
Yes.
And I looked at him, and it was the right thing to do to phone the ambulance. Yes. And I just looked at him and thought, what's happened in his life to be like this?
Yeah.
So if you think with people with PTSD, it can take a long time to come out. So we don't know what's gone in their past or in their life. And so I take a different view than I did before. And that, it may not be their fault why they are like they are. On the other side of things, a couple of Sundays ago, I was walking about in the morning, and there was a guy picking up rubbish. And he was picking up rubbish there by where we found the guy that was unconscious, by the bus stop. Well, I thought I'm going to go over and speak to him, because I just want to see. I knew what he was doing, he was tidying up. And I said, "You all right there, fella?" He said, "Yeah." He said, "I just can't stand people," he says. "Just can't stand people that leave their rubbish around." He was picking it up. Now, you wouldn't make assumptions, but I said, "Where do you live, mate?" He said, "I live in a caravan." Fine. And I got chatting to him, and this is a guy that was tidying up. Now I'm thinking to myself, he's there tidying up and putting all the rubbish away where people's left it around. And I thought, plenty of people living in normal houses wouldn't do that. So don't judge them, Don't judge them. The thing he was telling me that he said he lived in a caravan because it's all he could afford. But the thing that he struggles with the most is not being able to get a shower. And that's the thing. And he said, that's what I miss the most is getting a shower. So we do have issues, and some people it's not fault of their own. So that's how I look at it now. Very, very different.
I must admit, there's a story I'd like to tell, which you told me, which I thought was brilliant when we were filming. The Canadian couple who couldn't find their car.
Oh yeah,
I love this. This is brilliant.
Well, so on Beltane, that's the first Beltane I'd done.
Yeah.
And so it was an eye opener for me how busy that was actually.
Yeah.
And I was in the high street, stood next to some police officers, and a couple come to me and said, "Excuse me, can you help us?" I said, "What's the problem?" And they said, "We've lost our car. We don't know where we parked it." And you think yourself, it's so easy. Glastonbury, such a simple little town, you think it would be easy. But they couldn't find it. So I said to them, "Well, how did you get here?" And explained how they got there. And I knew that they parked in St. John's car park. So what I did, I said, "Okay, come with me. I'll take you to your car." And I did that. And on Saturday, for instance, I had an Irish lady that wanted to know where the library was. Mm-hmm. So I took her to the library. She said, "No, this is not it." I said, "No, I can assure you, this is the library." So I didn't know where I'd been before. And I had a nice chat with her, and that was nice. She comes every 18 months. And that's the sort of thing I do, really. I've escorted one female up the high street who was a little bit worried about, maybe antisocial behaviour and that. And I'm happy to do that, to walk alongside somebody. So if you see me and you've got a little bit of a fear, I'll walk with you. It's not a problem. Don't get engaged with the antisocial side of things. If that's a job for the police, at the end of the day. But I mean, I am aware of it, and anything I pick up on, you could say I'm a little bit like a neighbourhood watch on foot.
Yeah.
So things may get passed on to relevant stakeholders, be it council, businessmen, police, at the time, and it's just trying to make improvements, So, I mean, one of the courses I did an Open University course, which is a free one to do, and it's called Collaborative Problem Solving for Community Safety. It's a really good course. It was 16 hours long, and you can do it at your own pace. You can do it as often as little as you like.
Yeah.
So that's one I've done. Well worth doing, and that's a free course. There's another one called I Know How to Talk to People. Of course, it's a 4-hour course. And there's another one called Justice, Fairness and Mediation. That's a 4-hour course. It's free. And then there's other courses you can do, conflict management and mediator training. That's £12. So I mean, you don't have to spend a fortune to get not qualifications, some courses, because they're not qualifications. They are just courses.
Yeah.
So there's things you can do to put into it. So what I find with my own personal customers, most people are frightened to walk into Glastonbury, and they don't come into Glastonbury, and I think that's sadness. And that's another reason I do it, because I don't think anybody should have fear of walking in the town. And let's sort of like, a lot of people think I'm in real danger doing what I do, but I'm not, because I don't do any law enforcement. People, some of the alternative community have come to me and asked me what I do, and I tell them, but when they understand that I'm actually there to help people, it's a different kettle of fish, So that's okay. So I don't have an issue with that. The people at Glastonbury are frightened. I was talking to a lady Sunday morning that I said good morning to her. She said good morning back. We passed each other, and after about 10 paces, she said, "Excuse me," and I turned around to chat to her. And she said, "What do you do as a community ranger?" And I just go through what I do, more or less what I've said now, and so on. This is brilliant. This is exactly what we need. So I would say, for the public I speak to, Glastonbury town folk I speak to, and the businesses I've spoken to, they all seem to be in favour of it, and they keep saying this is what we want. So you are a uniformed person, and you can be a uniform deterrent. So that's how it will work. People that comment and say this is exactly what we want, this is a great thing what you're doing, or comments on YouTube, this is brilliant, we need more of this. Yeah, we do need more of it, and we need more people to get involved, because if we leave it to our council, if we leave it to just the police, that's what we've got, and that's it. You've got other individuals doing other things, well-being and so on and so forth. They're putting their little bit in. I'm doing what I'm doing. And, if you don't want to see sadness in Glastonbury and the issues we got, then get involved as a community, because as a community, we can win this, and we can do it. So I want to see between 2 to 4 people in the Glastonbury High Street doing what I do.
That's right.
And I spend about, it depends on how busy it is, but I expect I spend between hour to 2.5 hours maximum in town. But it depends how busy and what's going on. Sometimes it's really, really dead, and I just walk on, The Sunday morning, I do that because of the sexual assault that we had at 6:30 in the morning on one Saturday. And I just decided that on the Sunday morning I was going to go into town really early. I was in 7 actually, and just standing by the town hall where the people were just waiting to catch their buses. They'd probably been here for the weekend and so on and so forth, and move on, just to give reassurance that there's somebody about, when they do that. So, we always used to see in the days when the police used to walk around our estates, housing estates, and so on and so forth. We don't ever see that now because their resources are so low. No. And I'd like to see, housing estates sort of like get a tabard on with community ranger on it and just walk around their own estates and do a similar thing, in pairs, and just be a visual deterrent for those that are doing things that maybe you shouldn't be doing.
And that can bring neighbours together within a neighbourhood as well, can't it?
It is neighbourhood watch on foot, really. That's what it is. And if I got somebody on my estate and I said to him, "How would you feel if you saw me and somebody else walking past your house with high vis on?" The first words he said was safer. But like I see in my job, I see people that are travelling around housing estates, and they're eyeing things up. You know what they're doing. You think so? Yeah, they're up to no good. And all it is a matter now you can take down registration numbers, you can pass that on, you can do it through Crime Stoppers, you can do it through the police, and I understand that even the Somerset Police have got an amazing database which everything goes in together, so something can link up. They are advertising at the moment for PCSOs. They've lost a couple of PCSOs due to retirement, so they are really looking to recruit at the moment. So anyone who wants to put something in that way, you understand. I know of somebody that's got a son who's training right now up in Portishead, and he's coming back to Glastonbury to work. He will be, which is great. But times have changed a lot, and so we, I'm 1 in 10,000, at the moment.
You are pretty much. That's the
I'm the
population of Glastonbury. Yeah,
I'm the Lone Ranger, mate. I'll tell you. But
who's Tonto?
Yeah. So I mean, it's the most rewarding volunteer job I've done. I'll say that.
Yeah.
No question about that. And I've done volunteer work probably for about 15, 20 years, something like that. I expect overall. I've got a Jubilee medal for me service from the Queen, to communities. So I've got that, which I'm proud of, because it takes a lot of time doing community stuff, in what I used to do. Now it's different. It's no, I don't have to do what I do. I do it when I want to do it. I'm finding it's quite addictive, and I tend to want to go in. And I come home and I say to my wife, "Oh, that was amazing today," and it really is amazing. Some of the things that you're doing and helping people is incredible. It really is. And it could be even just helping a little old lady walk across the road. Something simple. It's
well,
just
Graham, long may you keep it up, my friend, and long may you make Glastonbury a safer place and a more welcoming place. And I must admit, if I was a tourist going into somewhere completely lost, I'd love to bump into someone like you.
Well, you need them, You definitely need them. I mean, when we had the high winds the other day, I was in an area where there was a young mother with her baby in her arms, and the high winds picked up that pushchair, and everything that was in that pushchair went all across the road. And I just naturally picked it all up and put everything back together and make sure she was okay, because it was a bit of a shock, really, But it's just most people would do that anyway, to be fair.
Well, yes, they would. You would hope they would.
Yeah, it's put the good back in, and you just get the good feeling back into Glastonbury,
Absolutely.
And it's fascinating. It really is fascinating.
Anyway, the slave driver of life, time, has yet again cast its horny finger in our direction and said, "No more. It is nearly 9 o'clock." So, Graham, thank you so much for coming in. Couple of notices. Anybody on here who is a follower of the Station Master and the Village Hall, and I hope you all are, next week there's no Bernie. You have Andrew Norris instead running the show, because Bernie's off gallivanting around the Science Museum. Don't forget, there's a wonderful horology department there now, Bernie. That's that. Was there any other notices? I don't think that's it. Other than, don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, in a fortnight's time, I will be in Copenhagen. Jeff will be running the show. Bernie will be on it, and it will be coming to you on the channel called Live from the Tor. Please, when you get there, subscribe, because that way you will get notified like you do now for this one, but on that one. But you have to subscribe to get that. So on that note, I'm going to thank everybody for coming along, all the wonderful people we have here tonight: Barry, Kathy, Ernie, Bernie, Andrew, everybody else, Alison. We loved having you on this show. It's been great doing it from Glastonbury, Gabriel. But for now, that's it. And we will see you in 2 weeks' time on the new one. And Graham and Kat, thank you for being here tonight. And Jeff, thank you for all of your work you've done on this channel for the last 2 years now, over 2 years, running the comments, which is really sad, because it would be nice to have the comments dealt with properly tonight, with it being the last one on this channel. But hey, you can't have everything, can you? So Thank you for coming along, and we will see you on the new channel. Bye-bye now. Bye. And I've got to press this button over here, and then it all goes away, and it's like, and it ends the stream, and then that's it. And I don't